Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Messin. All right, so it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these because I couldn't figure out how to do certain things, and I figured out how to get 8 tiny reindeer. 9 if you want to make Rudolph, but that's a story for another day. So we have rings here, 2, 4, 6. I didn't do 8 because I figured I have to redo this anyway. So just as you've seen in the intro, I'm going to show you how to get... Well, now we have 4 rings. First and foremost, if this is your first time modding, don't do this. Do the preliminaries. And as always, in the Mod Messin videos, the tutorials are all in the playlist. So view them at your own leisure, but make sure you start with the introduction to Quick BMS and Unlewis C. All right, so what I did is, first of all, in your assets folder, go to Rumpus Objects and Rumpus Room, and you're going to have a folder called Toy. And in the original, it's unmodded, unzipped. It's still going to be there, Toy. And what it's going to look like is this. You're going to have 5 folders in a zip. You're going to want to unzip the Toy zip. Now, again, I stress, if this is your first time doing it, you're going to say, well, I can just follow along my first time. Half the stuff won't work. All right. So you see a zip folder. You're going to say, oh, zip folder, extract. Can't do it. Doesn't matter what you use. WinRAR, 7-zip, Windows zip folder, whatever. It will not work. So you have to use Quick BMS, and you have to follow the tutorial if you've never done it before, in order to get it, because there's a certain file that you need in order for it to run. Okay, so with all of that being said, I'm trusting that everybody that's following along has knowledge of that right now. So I'm going to go up here to this bar, which is my folder address bar, and I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go to the place where I have Quick BMS stored. And it's set up already. You have to have this other folder or this other file called DisneyInfinity.bms. All right, so you take this and drag it onto the Quick BMS exe file. All right, and then what you do not paste the address in the file name. It'll mess things up. Paste it up here, right? So make sure the whole thing's highlighted. I'm going to do a Control V, and I'm going to hit Enter. Now it's going to take me to the folder that we want to extract, and that's that toy zip. Double click it and hit save. All right, now we're going to close it, and we're going to go back to the toy folder. And what you're going to want to do is somehow make a backup of that zip file. Don't delete it, just in case you mess it up. So you make a folder. I'm going to call it Big BK, right? BK. And I'm going to take that zip folder and I'm going to put it in that backup folder. So what that does is the computer will not read that zip file if it's not there. Or you could rename it, however you want to do it. Make a folder, rename it, whatever. So now in that toy folder, I need all of these things extracted. So I'm going to cut all those and paste it right here, right outside of the toy file. Or a toy folder. So with everything else, that's how it's going to read it if it's not zipped. All right. Some might ask, well, why can't you just mod what you want and then rezip it? It won't work because DisneyInfinity 3.0 does not read real zip files. Those are not. You can rename any file you want to any extension you want. I could rename these MP4s. Doesn't mean it's going to open with an MP4 player. And before I forget, after everything's extracted, you're going to have a textures folder. You're going to want to open that up and cut everything out of there because it needs to be moved. Where? Assets, textures. Otherwise, any of the extracted stuff will be without textures. So paste them in there. I already have them in there, so I'm just going to skip. But keep that in mind. Otherwise, you're going to have no color. So now that this is empty, I no longer need that folder. All right. And what I'm going to look for is the golden rings. And I think it's RR underscore toy underscore gold. Nope. How about toy underscore gold? There we go. And we have all these different collectibles right here. All right. And we have the armored stuff. Now, I decided I'm only going to do these to things that I'll never use. And I have no use for rings. Which means probably if there's gold rings, if they're the same ones used in any of the play sets, then they'll be replaced with Sven the Reindeer, and I won't be able to complete the challenge. But whatever, if that's the case. Play sets might use their own individual rings anyway. So what I want is the gold challenge ring underscore SEL. So not the orb, the ring. All right, so here's all the rings. There's 9 of them, but this one in particular that I want is the OCT file. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that. Just in case I ever want to use it again, I'm going to put it in that BK file. Just in case I mess something up or something goes awry, whatever. So, another thing, or the next thing that we need to do is go back to the assets folder and go to characters. And what we need to find is Sven the Reindeer's folder. Now, normally you would think Frozen would be FRO underscore, but that's where we have Anna, Elsa Premium, who's not complete. So Olaf and the pieces of Olaf. All right, so Sven is not there. Sven is under TB for Toy Box. TB underscore Sven the Reindeer. All right, now when you open that, you're going to have that zip folder, and you're going to follow the same thing that I did before and extract it. All right, but here's the thing. I don't need the files for Sven the Reindeer in here. I just need one file, or actually I just need to move the files. So I'm still going off the Sven the Reindeer zip here. So what you're going to do I have him? Nope, I don't have him extracted. So let's extract him. I thought I did. Now I'll show you what I'm going to do with his contents. All right, so I'm going to extract Sven the Reindeer here. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to, I do have a backup because I was doing something else with it. Didn't work, but I don't have, I don't need the zip file in there. You don't need to do that unless you're using it for something else. Capiche? All right, so in Sven the Reindeer, we want all these files, and you could probably pinpoint it to 1 or 2, but I'm just playing it safe and taking all of them. It's not that much in size, and I'm going to cut them because I don't need them here. All right, and I'm going to move those over to, actually, you know what? I'm going to paste them right here just for a second, and I'm going to just get rid of that folder because I don't need it, and take all these except the zip file. I'm going to take all those folders that I extracted, and all 5 of them, and I'm going to cut them. Control X or right click cut, however you want to do it. And then I'm going to go back to the Rumpus room. Rumpus objects, go Rumpus room, toy. All right, and I'm going to paste them in here. Okay. Now, I also remember we took that folder, that ring select OCT. Well, I'm going to leave that in there. I'm just going to take the name of it, right? And I'm going to go back out and I'm going to find TB underscore Sven the reindeer and the OCT file for Sven. I'm going to rename it Toy Gold Challenge Ring dot or underscore SEL. It's the same thing that the ring OCT file is. Okay, now it's going to change all that. All right, so now let me get the camera out of the way. So now you can see you have reindeer there. Now they have no collision. I'm not worried about that. This is the best I could do. Of course, there's probably, if there's a will, there's a way. I just don't know how to do that. If there's a line of code that allows mounts to be connected to a path creator, let me know. Let me know, and I will do that for everything, because I believe that everything somehow can be modded to have path creator options, but I just don't know how to do it. So if you go to your toys, or your game maker, I should say, and go to collectibles, got your gold challenge ring, and you put a gold challenge ring down, you have Sven, you have Sven, you have Sven. That is not a pretty picture. All right, so another thing to note, with the magic wand, you cannot select them. All is not lost. You can go into spark mode, and the bounding box or collision selection is there. So, and that's where the options are. The gearbox is there, and it works. Yeah. I shouldn't need to show you how to put it on a path because it works the same way as everything else. But in case you don't know, see, these have no physics either, so that's good. So if I have them facing the right way, you know what? I'm going to drop 2 more down there, so we can have 8 reindeer instead of 6. So you can see what I did. So I'm going to say new path connection. I'm going to connect him here, and same thing with him. No, not logic. New path connection. All right, so what I'm going to do now is take these 2 and move them to the front of the line. So they're at the bottom of the list. The last 2 gold challenge rings. All right, so I'm going to hit Y or triangle, depending on what what kind of controller you have. And I'm going to go to Properties, Toybox Path. All right, so now the first 2 I put up were forward, backward 4. The second 2 were 8. The third 2 were 12. So now I'm going to add 4 to that. These are going to be 16. All right. And one of them is going to be horizontal -1, and the other one's going to be horizontal +1 to get them into that row. And the other thing we want is orient along path on. Go back to the path creator and go to the last gold challenge ring. Toybox path. Forward, backward, offset is going to be 16. Horizontal is going to be +1. Orient along path is going to be on. Now, I forgot the switch. Now, I have these logic connections hooked to a switch. And how this is I have New logic connection. You know what? I'm going to delete this and I'm going to start it fresh and show you what I did. So I'm going to go new logic connection on is going to go to the path creator, reset and play. Okay. New logic connection off. I'm going to go to the path creator, reset and stop. Also, get rid of that because I want to use that, bring it back in and show it to you. When I'm ready, when I get to that part, and we're going to need one of these. You know what those are? Those are the vehicle spawners. So I want to delete that. I really don't want to, but I want to delete it and show you from scratch. Okay, from scratch. We need a locator right there. That's going to be our spawn point for the vehicle. Now, Captain Hook's pirate ship is not in the standard toy box. You need the disc. So if you're modding, I'm guessing you're playing the gold edition. So you have all the hex, almost all the hex discs, unless you mod all of them in. And I haven't figured out how to do that. I can get them to show up, but they don't typically do anything. Anyway, filters, vehicles, and I'm going to get Captain Hook's ship right there. All right. And I'm also going to go to Game Maker and go to Marvel Toys or Marvel Games. Get the vehicle summoner. Right, like that. New logic connection. Nope. My mistake. New locator connection. Get that right there. Make sure the blue dot is facing the direction it's going. All right. New logic connection when this is on. It's going to generate. Go to hexagonal power discs and select that. All right. Once you do that, you can remove your power disc. And if you see the power discs, you can't do anything with them once they're set down. And it's kind of lame. It was a cash grab, of course. So you couldn't use them unless you had the grab bag and got the right toy. Or went to eBay and blah, blah, blah. I remember that. Okay. And new logic connection off. Go to the plate. Remove all. Why? So when you're testing it, you don't keep spawning in 1,000 vehicles. All right. Next thing we want to do is get a time delayer. Right there. Properties. 0.25. New logic connection. When the delay is completed, we want to go to the path creator and say off. Not reset, off. All right, now, new logic connection, when this is on, it's going to start the time delayer. Also, new logic connection, go to generated vehicle options. When you enter it, it's going to start it up. So it's going to say on. All right. And I think that's it. So let's test it out and get these two reindeer that are on top of each other to get to the front of the line by jumping on our start panel. So they just went to the front of the line. So now we have 8 reindeer. The sleigh will go in. Right like that. See, immediately it hits that. So here's the chain of events. When that's on, that spawns in, and it's supposed to play, but it also triggers this to tell it to stop immediately. All right. So now when I jump in that, it's going to take off and go around the path. And the path is weird. Once, you know, sometimes you can see the lines, and sometimes it disappears, but it's there. It's there. All right. So the other thing I want to do, this trigger area is rigged to start the game. So what I'm going to do is go here, new logic connection. When that's on, it's going to turn this one on. And I can just get these out of the way. I want to move these. Kind of obnoxious being there. And move that. And let's see. I should have tested it before I moved all of it. All right. So that has my camera rigged up to 2D. Uh-oh. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to clear the other one out first. That's okay. I just jumped on here. Hit that. That cleared it. Now, do we want to speed this up a bit? Santa's usually pretty fast, right? I'm not going to speed it up really fast, but let's say 130. Let's try that again. Uh-oh. Messed it up somehow. What did we forget to do? Oh. New path connection. Oh, boy, you're so smart. Generated vehicle options. Toybox path. All right. Oops. That was a big oops, right? No wonder it didn't move. And then we also want to go to properties, generated vehicle options, and make sure it's oriented along the path. Now, let's get that going. Eight tiny reindeer. They're really not tiny, are they? All right. There you go. It's a lot better than having the floor panels with the Tron grid, isn't it? Absolutely. Let me know what you think. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, remember, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, and have a Happy New Year, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys shortly. I don't know if this is before or if this is after the Christmas special. But if it's before, you're going to see this again. If it's after, well, now you know how I did it. All right, so enjoy Elsa taking a ride. And I'll see you guys next time.